Hey there, Heather. Hello there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome me to another Degrassism, and this is a big one. I'm going to be doing an audio type of video. Well, this video will just be of the image of Capital Study's Degrassi post. Capital Study 4 days ago, and this is being taped on August 24th, 2024, put up this great post saying, if you were a principal at Degrassi, who would you throw the book at? And listed 15 people. As cats are meowing in the background. 15 names were suggested. And my initial thought was, why don't you say the top 10 people who should have the book thrown at them? In my opinion, that I just basically picked top 10. However, I decided that since all 15 of these have been guilty of a massive crime, I'm going to talk about all 15 people and what their biggest thing that they should be thrown the book at, like their biggest crime and all that. Now, there is going to be a difference. There's going to be some that actually had their biggest problems and people threw the book at them. But in those cases, I will have an alternate. So anyway, first is Jay. Now, the biggest thing Jay should be throwing the book at was his bullying and being in the Rick campaign and being part of the reason why Rick actually took a gun and shot Jimmy instead of trying to be reasonable. Now, because Jay technically got expelled for his role and never came back to Degrassi, I can't really punish him for that. But Jay's biggest crime, I believe, what he should be throwing the book at? Personally, I say for forcing Sean to do the hit and run. Now, in season 6, Sean came back to Degrassi, and Emma was involved in this messy love triangle with Sean and Peter. She has feelings for Sean, but also wants to be with Peter. Peter, feeling that Emma's going to break off of Sean because of Emma and Sean's relationships in the previous time, actually decides to do something about it and get Sean in trouble. So he plants drugs in Sean's locker. Sean's not too pleased and yells at Peter. Jade basically decides, why don't you have a street race? So practically it is for Emma's heart. Sean ends up hitting a pedestrian with his car and stays behind to try to get help. But Jay pulls up in his car and tells Sean to flee the scene of the accident because they'll go easy on Peter, but not Sean. So Sean basically flees and all that. He flees to Emma's house. Emma tells Sean to confess. I mean, Emma had to because Emma could have been in trouble for harboring a fugitive, if you will. So Sean goes to jail and all that. And Peter thinks he's won Emma back. The fact of the matter is that Emma is persuaded by Jay and Manny that Peter's the scumbag about everything, and Emma finds out about this stuff. But my thing is, how come Jay got away with it? He told Sean to flee the scene of an accident. Are you nuts? I'm surprised Emma didn't just say, wait a minute, when Sean fled the scene, were you there? And should have told Jay, wait a minute, were you involved in the hit and run? Because then Jay would have been in deep trouble and all that. And then he would have been punished for a major crime and all that. I feel that, Sean was protecting Jay for some dumb reason. Jay did help Sean out by getting him a place in the shop, the auto shop, but that didn't work out so well, and Sean leaves for the army. But yeah, Jay should have been punished for that. You could also say about the whole turning JT into a drug dealer thing and, uh, getting Sean to steal stuff from Degrassi to please his candy bandits. But no, the hit and run was worse. Next up is Alex. Who would throw the book at? I would throw. Well, there's got to be one reason, and one reason only. The only thing I would throw the book at Alex for is the whole Rick situation. She was part of the group that bullied Rick tirelessly. Alex found that Rick was trying to buy his forgiveness with a $500+ check and rips it up. Emma tells Alex, you don't know what you're doing with this thing. And Alex tells about her story about being a dealing with domestic violence, that her mother is a DV survivor and that her ex-boyfriends have practically put her into women's shelters and she cries herself to sleep and all that. Alex has to help her mother out. And you can feel sympathy for Alex about the whole domestic violence thing, but bullying is just not the right answer. So practically, she tears Emma a new one. Well, as student council vice president, she tried to convince Radich to quit that stuff, but to not allow Rick back at school, but Radich wouldn't budge. So she has a point. And you can kind of give her a bit of a pass, but the fact of the matter is that Alex's role with this paint and feathers and all that, I'm surprised that the school didn't investigate the paint and feathers thing further after Rick went on that gun tirade. Alex would have been found out, maybe, maybe not. But, Jay and Spinner were definitely not going to tell on Alex. Jay because he had the crush on Alex, and Spinner because, Alex didn't have anything to do with the fact that Jay and Spinner decided to talk Rick into shooting Jimmy, although they didn't know that Rick had a gun. So yeah, Alex did have some feelings of guilt, but she held them in and managed to get everyone well. Next up is Spinner. Who would throw the book at Spinner? Well, Spinner's biggest crime was the whole Rick situation, and he got the book thrown at him by Hatzelackles. Let it be known that, unlike what Jay thinks, Spinner actually confessed. Well, he confessed to Jimmy about the prank, and then, they talked about pinning the blame on Jimmy instead of themselves because obviously Spinner thought that Jimmy was going to narc on him. Well, Spinner should never have bragged about the prank to Jimmy. So yeah, Spinner thought he did the right thing. He did, but that was 3 months on, and he should never have been pressured by Jay or anyone else. So practically, he's made a school pariah, and Jimmy tells him straight out that you confessed to alleviate your guilt. You didn't care about me at all. So anyway, Hatzelackles does expel Spinner. Rightfully so for the events that led to Jimmy being shot. However, she also blamed him for Rick dying. It's like, a boy's dead because of your stupidness. Are you kidding me? You're blaming Spinner for Rick's death? Rick did it to himself, Hatzelackles. Man, I hate you for that. Now, the question on my mind is, what should Spinner be punished for if it's not the Rick situation? Throw the book at Spinner. Oh, that is actually a good question. I can't really think of anything. Maybe this fights with Lakehurst in season 7, but Hatzelackles threw the book at him and made him join the Peace Corps and all that, and then he had the testicular cancer. I can't really think. Well, maybe his crimes against Quan in the first few seasons. Well, that's all I got for Spinner. Okay, Emma. Who would I throw the book at Emma for that? But the question on my mind is, how would I throw the book at Emma? I mean, the purple dragon thing, yes, she took the dress off in front of the whole school, but she was given many detentions, and Hatzelackles thought she was brave with her stuff. And then Snake goes, please, Emma, don't embarrass me any further. And then the next episode's when Snake gets put on leave because of Darcy's accusations. I guess if you wanted to throw a book at Emma during school, like school stuff, like if you were a principal at Degrassi, so logically outside school, I would throw the book at her for her treating Emma terribly. And she did get punished for the go home Lakers chant with many detentions. I'm surprised she didn't get suspended for it. I wish she probably did. And then practically, being told by Snake and Manny that you have to be better, and you gotta. Manny says that we've been through things together. Don't make me the bad guy. Don't change the script. So the fight for your right thing, she kind of did get punished. Radich, I think, punished her more so for her not bending down to him, if you will. If I were to punish Emma, yeah, I think I would punish Emma for the Orange Ribbon campaign if I were to throw the book at Emma. Because, the whole campaign was just plain stupid. Emma started it. Now, Emma started it with good intentions so that people will buy orange ribbons to help domestic violence victims. That's fair. But the seedy underbelly of her probably using the Orange Ribbon campaign to gain friendship, especially Paige's group, after Manny and Liberty dumped her off. Mind you, every time I say this, Emma deserved what she got. She lost Manny and Liberty as friends because of Emma's stupidity over the Chris situation. But she wanted to make friends, and she wanted to be in Paige's click and be cool and all that. Of course, Emma kind of had a glow up in season 4, so that kind of explains it. But of course, the seedy underbelly of being in Paige's group and getting rid of Rick and then just not caring about the orange ribbon stuff and just using it as an excuse to beat up on Rick. Well, the students did and all that. I bet you dollars to donuts, Radish probably blamed Emma for undermining him. Because remember, Radish told Emma that this is not one of your stupid crusades when she tries to stop Rick in the hallway. Like, dude, it is a crusade that's worth it. I mean, yeah, Emma overreacts and all that, but still, that's just pathetic. So my guess is Radish probably would have thrown the book at Emma because she started the Orange Ribbon campaign to undermine him. But of course, he would have to worry about Snake getting on Radish's case because Radish basically doesn't really have allies except for Snake. That's it. And Snake basically told them off. So, yeah, I would do the Orange Ribbon campaign for Emma if I were to throw the book at Emma. But because of Emma's trauma and all that, you can give her a pass. But Emma probably would have used that as a way to get back at Paige. Maybe because Paige dumped her off, Emma would have nothing to lose and say, Paige's clique should be in trouble too, and then get Paige in trouble. Okay, Peter. You would throw the book at Peter, especially doing the whole thing with Manny in season 5. Like, that is just plain stupid. Yes, he did some stupid stuff by planting drugs in Sean's locker and giving online pictures of Darcy to a guy off school. Well, it was off school grounds, so you can't punish him if you're the principal. If I were principal, definitely it would be the whole season 5 thing. Peter is the affection of, is the person of Emma's affection because Emma says that she's trying to get rid of the fact that Sean blew through her emotional trailer park, which kind of proves that she didn't get over the fact that Sean left for Wasaga Beach to deal with his PTSD and left Emma high and dry, despite the fact that he left Ellie high and dry probably more so. But I mean, dude, Sean saved Emma from a shooter. Like, how the hell can you not be attracted to Sean and all that? Emma's mind had it that she needed Sean because Sean saved her from a bullet. Plain as day as can see. So yeah, Peter, got Manny drunk and all that, and then Manny flashes her breasts at Peter. Peter records the video and then asks for a $3,000 camera. Manny refuses to and wants to go out with Peter because Peter says, "Go out with me," and then Manny says, "No, Emma wants to go out with you." So Peter basically doesn't get what he wants, so he basically video shares. Everyone is appalled by it and all that. Emma is, but for the wrong reasons. Emma basically is upset over the fact that Manny was trying to steal Peter from her. But Manny says that's not the case. Unfortunately, Emma jumps the gun again. Fortunately, with a bit of insight and the fact that Manny was kicked out of her house and now has to live with Emma and her family, Emma softens and all that. She learns Peter is scum and all that. And they both agree that Peter is scum and not deal with Peter ever again. Unfortunately, Emma, the affection for Peter is just too strong. She wanted to destroy Peter for Manny, but Peter wooed her, and basically Emma fell for it. And it was just practically a change in Emma's character. Emma would definitely never have been like that. The old Emma, as bad as she seems to be, she would never fall for Peter's charm. She would basically do everything in power to destroy Peter, and Hatzalakos for that matter, because Hatzalakos is Peter's mommy. So that's what I think. So yeah, definitely. Peter should have been in trouble the first time. Instead of just detention. He should have been suspended, if anything. Well, of course he would be expelled. Next up is Derek. His biggest thing is the abuse of Jane on the football team. Well, Derek was kind of a douchebag in many seasons, especially framing Danny for a crime, which smelled of racism and all that, just to get to Rachel, and former Lakers girl. Now, the incident happened off school grounds, so as principal, you can't really throw the book at Derek for that. And of course, Derek had that problem with Perino, but Perino was the bad guy in that situation. Yes, Derek did some bad things, and so did Danny, but Perino threatened Derek, and Derek basically told Snake, and Snake told Hatzalakos, and then Perino gets investigated and is off some episodes. I think he was served some kind of punishment. That was when Derek was reasonable. But season 8 was when he was a douche, especially to Jane on the football team. The whole football team, in essence, should be punished for what they did to Jane. They were upset with Jane for blowing a key game and basically beat her up and all that. It's actually shocking that Spinner didn't beat up Derek and his crew for what they did to Jane, because Spinner would have been kind of in the right. But no, it wouldn't happen that way. The fact of the matter is that, Derek was terrible. But Derek, in a sense, could have easily been punished. The worst part about that is that who was the coach of the football team? That's right, the chef. The chef himself, he's principal, and he's coaching the football team, and yet he doesn't do a damn thing about Derek and all that. But then when Jane's a hero, he praises Jane, but Shep basically leaves Jane high and dry. Fortunately, though, that the whole assembly for Principal of the Year caught Shep up, and he was caught red-handed and all that. Of course, the thing about Shep in the Principal of the Year is like, why was he Principal of the Year? I mean, I know he was from Lakehurst. They had their school burned down into the fire. Maybe they wanted to give him the Principal of the Year award, but because he wasn't an active principal, they couldn't give it yet. I mean, I think they wanted to give it to Hatzalakos, but she was on sabbatical. That's the word I keep forgetting to mention, but sabbatical in Regina to deal with her ailing mother. Maybe they wanted to give it to Hatzalakos, and they didn't want to revote. That's what I think. Okay, so the Lakehurst Goons for basically the whole JT situation and starting the feud and all that. There were a lot of goons and all that. One goon actually was from Arrow, and one Stephen Arnell was in as a goon, I think. And then one kind of resembled someone from Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Roderick. So the fact of the matter is that, yeah, Johnny DeMarco and Drake Lampley. I think Drake Lampley got the book thrown at him because he stabbed JT and killed him. So Drake Lampley probably would have served a lot of jail time. Johnny DeMarco kind of deserved to be punished, but also let's not forget that Johnny, I think, in a sense, decided to throw the book at Drake and basically made a deal to get himself out of trouble by pinning everything on Drake Lampley. Because DeMarco didn't want to do anything about it. Johnny didn't want to do anything about it. He just wanted to bully JT, not stab him in the back. And he was shocked that Drake Lampley would actually stab him. Now the situation is huge because what happened to Nick, the guy who was Mia's ex, who kind of orchestrated something to get JT hurt? He was the leader of the Lakehurst Goon Squad. And, he was never seen, never mentioned even, which was pathetic. He wasn't even mentioned. In my head canon, Nick must have got in trouble and probably got charged, not with JT's murder, but conspiracy to hurt JT. Not to kill him, but to hurt him. That's something major punishable. And Nick probably got punished for that. Or basically, Johnny DeMarco, in his plea deal, may have pinned things on Nick, and he would have thrown in Julie and all that stuff. Yeah, I would pin a lot of things on them. Okay, Holly J. Why would I want to throw the book at Holly J? I mean, what did Holly J do that was terrible during the school time and all that? Yeah, she basically put Anya in her shadow and all that. But I can't really throw the book at Holly J for that. Maybe Vegas Night, but Vegas Night, but she didn't really get punished that badly. The students got punished for their crimes in Vegas Night. What's Simpson gonna do? Like, Simpson had to do something about it. And the students did fuck up and basically placed Snake off. And played off Snake's trust. Snake was right to say, you broke my trust. But I can't really throw the book at Holly J for anything school related. The thing is, if you were principal. So I can't really say that if I was principal. And Holly J had to deal with a kidney issue. So can't really hurt Holly. It's basically compassionate grounds. Okay, Owen. Yeah, Owen for being transphobic and being a dick and all that during school time. But I mean, it's weird how Owen is transphobic at school, but yet his brother Tristan, who is a bigger piece of garbage than Owen in my mind, and I think a lot of people's minds, also was gay. So it's weird how Owen could be so transphobic towards like Riley and all them, and then all of a sudden he has a gay brother. Yeah, whatever. Bianca, how would I throw the book at Bianca if I were principal? If I were principal, I wouldn't throw the book at Bianca because Bianca's crimes kind of were off school grounds. Although it must be that Bianca and her influence with Vince and all that kind of led to some problems. And of course, Adam being shot at by Vince. It was because Bianca was almost accosted by Anson, and then Drew tries to stop Anson and gets overpowered. But then Bianca uses a rock to smash Anson's head, and he gets hurt, and then he dies. Bianca leaves her bracelet behind, and someone picks it up, and it was Vince, who basically told Bianca that he wouldn't hurt Drew and Degrassi if Drew stayed out of it, and told Bianca, "You're going to work for me," and all that, and I'll keep quiet. Unfortunately, Drew decides to go after Vince and wants to talk to Vince, and Bianca says, "Don't go near Vince. We have a deal, and it's never going to be over." So Drew doesn't listen to Bianca, and then Vince is upset and then decides to take a gun and then shoot at people. He shot Adam. I wonder if that was targeted or not. Might be targeted. Or maybe he was aiming at Drew and then he accidentally shot Adam, or he basically shot somebody. He couldn't reach Drew, so he was like, I'm going to go after someone close by. And it turned out to be Adam. Bianca found the gun and wanted to shoot Vince when Vince came out of the clubhouse, but Drew told Bianca not to, and Bianca gets arrested by the police. Audra blames Bianca for all Drew's problems, and Drew basically told his mom off, saying, "It's my fault he got shot. It's not Bianca's fault, and she's going to need a good lawyer for everything." And convinces Audra to turn Bianca's life around and all that. Bianca probably played Drew like a fiddle. Yeah, probably. But Bianca was worth a redemption song. I think that if anything, Audra would have thrown the book at Bianca because she was on the school board. Eli, what would I throw the book at Eli for? Maybe his streaking thing, but then again, he was off his meds for his bipolar condition, so you got to give him a compassionate punishment and all that. So I can't really think of anything for Eli to punish him for on school grounds. Off school grounds, he did some bad stuff, but on school grounds, can't really think of that. Zoe, yeah, Degrassi nudes, definitely worth a thing, and not just 5 years probation or whatever the frick they ended up giving Zoe. Yeah, Degrassi nudes, like, dude, she had to be punished for it. So in season 14, the cheerleaders decided to raise money for new uniforms and all that by selling provocative pictures of them on Booth Chat. People buy them. The worst part is Hunter, who will be next in this list, obviously, actually bought the pictures and is like, that's his sister of all people. That's his sister. What is he thinking? He's not thinking. That's the point. The fact of the matter is that, so he pressured everyone, and Frankie had enough and decided to leave the group. So he kicks Frankie off the cheerleading squad and says, "Don't tell anyone about the whole Degrassi nudes thing because you're just as implicated as me." So it's basically Frankie versus Zoe to try to get each other in trouble with the law and all that. And thanks to Winston, basically Zoe was outed and all that. Zoe did go to the cops to confess her role in the Degrassi nudes thing because she was told by Lola about the fact that you need to confess now because they'll forgive you sooner than later. So Zoe did all that, and then through her lawyer, she manages to be told to get community service, otherwise she would be probably serving 5 years in jail. So practically her lawyer got Zoe out of trouble. But yeah, I would have thrown the book at Zoe completely, expelling her just destroying things. And of course, really punishing the cheer squad for what they did in Degrassi Newt's name. Even though that Zoe was the ringleader, the girls came along with it. But, the degree of Zoe forcing them into it would have led to things. And Grace, of course, made the website. She should have been punished for that. I think Grace probably would have had the book thrown at her, but Zoe would not have allowed Grace to do so, to get in trouble. Zoe, yeah, probably did this. There probably was a reason why Zoe did this whole Degrassi Newts thing. In my mind, she did it because she was violated by Luke Baker and Neil in season 13. That trial brought bad stuff to Zoe. Zoe gets lucky when Luke and Neil are found guilty thanks to Becky's testimony and basically Becky being shunned. But yeah, Zoe was violated and she wanted to get her body back. So she did that in season 14 to get some control back in her life. Ugh. Okay, Hunter. Throw the book at Hunter? Not because I wouldn't throw the book at Hunter for throwing Yale off because Yale refused to give him a straight answer how they wanted to be perceived by Hunter. But no, the whole gun thing. Now, the gun situation season 15 was only found out thanks to the Hollingsworths. Basically, the Hollingsworths all found out, and I think Snake probably had something told about it, and then Snake allowed Hunter to come back to the school at the end of season 15, which was stupid. But anyway, Hunter was upset because him and his gaming club made this cool game, but the feminists and the student council basically think that the characters are females to be shot and all that. Hunter says that's how the images were. They tried to fix it, but it's unfixable. Basically, the gaming club gets shut down. Hunter doesn't help his situation by blasting the feminists and basically making some raw statements that Snake had to hear, and Snake basically canceled the gaming club on his own terms. Hunter did it to himself. Hunter decides to go after the gaming club, but unfortunately, Goldie, the ringleader, basically threw Maya under the bus, saying that this was all Maya's thing and made Maya the mouthpiece. I don't think Goldie had any inkling that by doing so, she was making Maya a target for Hunter. So Hunter wanted to destroy Maya and the feminists, in a sense, but thankfully Miles cuts him off at the pass. Hunter goes to a psychiatric ward for a couple of weeks and is welcomed back to school by Simpson, probably as a way to try to get there and not piss off Hollingsworth, who was the mayor. 14 is Marisol. What the hell did Marisol do badly? I guess Marisol for outing Katie's eating disorder and all that. Other than that, Marisol was kind of a forgettable character. And this was, of course, the era which I didn't really watch Degrassi. So I can't really throw the book at Marisol so much. And then number 15 is Esme. Well, if it was found out about Esme calling in bomb threat, yeah, you have to throw the book at her. Yeah, she has nervous breakdowns and is psychotic in a sense. But you got to have Esme take ownership of her problems. Esme had problems at the end of next class. She was with Sig and then has Frankie in as a polyamorous relationship, trying to keep those two from breaking up with her in a sense. She, of course, was worried that Sig was going to gravitate towards Maya. Esme kind of saved Maya's life. I think Esme, in her mind, thought that by saving Maya's life, people will like her and want to be around her. Nope. They gravitate towards Maya, and Esme has a smear campaign against Maya. When Sig and Maya go to the prom, accidentally, of course, Esme is pissed off and then beats up on Sig and pushes him down a cliff. Sig has some physical injuries. Maya doesn't want to go to graduation, thinking that she caused this mess. But thankfully, Grace talks Maya out of trouble. So the fact of the matter is that Esme is upset over the fact that Sig is with Maya and then buys Sig a motorcycle just to keep Sig in her clutches. And then she basically yells out she called in the bomb threat to try to stop Sig and Maya from going to the prom, which was false. And of course, everyone blamed Syed for it because he was Muslim and the police didn't help out. And then Syed says he's going to move to Montreal, but Lola convinces him to stay at the end of it. So what happens is that Esme gets told off and then probably goes to a clinic to try to fix her problems. And Maya says, I had to help. That was good for Maya. She was good for that. Even though that Esme tried to destroy Maya. So yeah, I would throw the book at her for the bomb threat and nothing else. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond, and I do